A scroll was unsealed in heaven tonight. You saw the image, one half blazing with overflow, engraved with your name. The other half shadowed, stern, bearing the weight of consequence for a heart that turns away. The angels trembled, not from malice, but from the holy gravity of choice. The sacred tension between mercy and justice, between invitation and consequence. Listen now, breathe. I stand before you, not to terrify, but to awaken. Not to condemn, but to call you back to the light you were made for. I am the voice that wards and steadies, the hand that lifts, the sword that protects, and the trumpet that summons the sleeping soul. Hear these words as if I place them in your ear with the warm steadiness of a warrior who loves deeply. 1. You are known. More deeply than you know before the scroll was unrolled, before the whisper of wind that framed heaven tonight. The one who formed the heavens wrote your name with care. Your name is not an accident, not a data point in an indifferent ledger. It is carved in the books of eternity, cherished and held. I tell you this because doubt will come. Seasons of forgetfulness, moments when you feel invisible, abandoned, or too small to matter. You are known. Your tears are counted. Your joys are recorded. Your hesitations are noticed. The fullness promised on the first half of that scroll is not a vague possibility. It is a posture of the heart toward the divine. Abundance in heaven's sight is not first possession, but alignment. A life whose center rests in faithful love, whose hands reach out, whose feet move toward justice and mercy. If you have ever felt unseen, let this settle into your bones. The cosmos itself remembers you. The armies of heaven do not march for abstractions. They stand ready for the human heart that chooses courage over comfort, truth over convenience, love over apathy, too. The warning is real, but redemptive. The second half of the scroll is not cruelty. It is a door left open to show the stakes. God's justice is not a wrathful whim. It is the sacred order that protects creation's goodness. When people turn from the source of light, harm comes sometimes subtle, sometimes fierce. But the warning is not an end. It is an invitation to return. If you have ignored God, not because of anger, but because of fear, doubt, busyness, or pain, return. If you have hardened your heart against what you cannot yet see, or against the cost of faithfulness, soften it now. The divine disciplines, not to punish, but to purify, not to ruin, but to reform. Do not mistake silence for absence. The heavens may seem still, but the very quiet can be a gentle pressure, urging you back toward life. The trembling of angels is not because heaven delights in threats. It is because love cannot help but tremble when a beloved risks loss. 3. This is your moment of courage. We're fashioned to stand in the arena of choice. Every day, the micro-choices of your lips, your hands, your gaze, and your commitments thread into destiny. There is a courage available to you now, not the hot, reckless courage of bravado, but the deep, steady courage of one who knows what is true and acts accordingly. Choose to be faithful in small things. Faithfulness is a muscle exercised in tiny acts of integrity, kindness, and sacrifice. These are the beads of gold that, when strung together, become a life of overflowing abundance. Do not despise the small day-by-day loyalties. They are the soil where miracles grow. Courage also means owning your failures. If you have stumbled, confess with honesty. Confession is not humiliation, but liberation. It clears the debris so light can reach your roots again. I stand with you in such moments, shielding you as you step back toward wholeness. 4. Practical steps, a roadmap for the returning heartwards. Without acts, risk becoming empty wind. Here are practical, concrete steps to help you align with the life the scroll promises. Begin with a quiet hour. Dedicate a time each day, even 10 minutes, to silence, to listening. The divine speaks in whispers. Consistent silence trains your soul to recognize that voice. Lay down one idol. Identify something you place before God: comfort, approval, success, anger, addiction. Choose today to loosen its grip. Replace its small promises with the larger promise of peace. Restore a relationship. Reach out with humility to someone you've wounded or who has wounded you. Healing is often communal. Salvation is not only an individual transaction, but a restoration of the body. Serve without counting cost. Find a practical way to help another. Give time, resources, presence. When you give sacrificially, you take part in heaven's economy. Guard your story. Replace despairing narratives, "I'm beyond help," with truthful ones, "I am being remodeled," day by day. Name the lies and speak the truth. Cultivate gratitude. List 3 things you are thankful for each night. Gratitude widens your vision. It cracks open closed hearts. Stay accountable. Find a faithful friend or community to walk with you. Accountability is not control. It is companionship on the narrow path. Take these steps not out of duty alone, but because each one opens a corridor in your soul where the overflow of heaven can pass through. Point 5. On fear and trembling. A clarification: not let fear freeze you. The angels trembled when they witnessed the gravity of choice. But trembling in heaven is not paralyzing. It is sacred awe. When you stand before the reality of your life, its beauty and its fragility, you may feel small. That smallness is not failure. It is exactly the soil where dependence on God can deepen. Fear also acts as a signal. Fear that points you away from love is a false alarm. Fear that points you toward transformation is a messenger. Lean into the messenger. Let it teach you where courage must grow. 6. Mercy is nearer than you think. You turn, the gates of mercy are wide. Return does not require a perfect plan. It requires a single step, honest and humble. The divine meets the contrite. Even if your life feels like a tangle of mistakes, come with frankness. Come with a willingness to repair where you can and to change where you must. Imagine the scrolls, half of abundance, as a river waiting to be tapped. Your repentance turns the valve. The more honest and open your heart, the more generous the flow. Mercy does not mean absence of consequence. It means that consequences no longer have the final word. 7. You are not alone in struggle. Armies march for the faithful. We'll tell you something the world seldom notices. Spiritual reality is not solitary. Invisible forces, not of manipulation, but of protection, surround those who seek justice, mercy, and humility. When you act in faith, to save, to defend the vulnerable, to speak truth in love, you are accompanied. This does not mean battles will vanish. It means you will not fight them alone. The presence at your side sometimes looks like an unexpected provision, a timely encounter, a sudden clarity, or a friend who appears when you needed them most. The world may miss it, but heaven does not. 8. Abundance redefined. Abundance in heaven's ledger often looks different than what the world calls abundance. It is not measured only by wealth, acclaim, or ease. True abundance includes peace that outlasts comfort, joy that outshines circumstance, love that refuses to abandon even when doors close. The scroll's overflowing provision might look like restoration of broken relationships, new clarity about vocation and calling, unexpected provision when you kept your hands open to help others, inner freedom from anxieties that have long chained you, a deepened sense of purpose that steadies your steps. Take heart. Some blessings arrive subtly. Others arrive with visible, dramatic change. Both are the signature of a generous God. 9. The courage to act now though. Scroll might have shown a time frame, but do not fixate on countdowns. The urgency is not meant to terrorize. It is meant to mobilize. Every now is sacred. Choose courage now. Send the message, mend the bridge, confess the truth, forgive. Begin that ministry, stand for the oppressed. Each single act amplifies beyond what you see. Remember, small choices compound. The mustard seed of a single right decision can yield a forest of fruit across years and generations. 10. For those who feel farthest gone, if you feel far. If guilt has become a heavy cloak you cannot shrug off, hear me plain. The bridge back is open. The mightiest warrior in heaven will not turn away a weary soul. Lay down the weight. Stop bargaining. Let the simplicity of returning be your pathway. If bitterness has made you hard, allow prayer to be a slow, steady hammer that loosens stones. If shame has rooted deeply, let confession and community be the water that sluices it away. There is no sin beyond the reach of redeeming love when met with genuine contrition. Asterisk 11. On discipline and restoration. Sometimes discipline arrives not as punishment, but as a surgeon's hand. It may be painful, but the pain is not the end. It is the passage toward healing. Do not fear discipline. Welcome it when it is just, because it points toward wholeness. Restoration follows repentance. When you turn, do not expect the same life to resume as if nothing happened. Restoration often involves reorientation, new rhythms, new commitments, new boundaries. Embrace the newness. You are being refined, not destroyed. Asterisk. The promise I seal with my voice. I speak as an archangel who has stood watch over the human story since the beginning. I will not invent for you easy roads or false comforts, but I will promise this: the path of return yields a deeper joy than the path of comfort ever could. The hand that reaches for mercy will not withdraw empty. Even when storms come, you will have a center that keeps you grounded. Your life, when aligned with the divine, will be a conduit of healing for others. This is not mere encouragement. It is the testimony of a cosmic heart that delights when the lost are found and the broken are mended. 13. A charge. Live boldly, love fiercely, serve humbly, beloved. I charge you, not with fear, but with holy daring. Live boldly. Do not hide your gifts. The world needs the specific light you carry. Your voice, your hands, your tenderness, your skill, each is an instrument in the healing of the world. Love fiercely. Let love outrun your cautions. When love is costly, it is often also the most transformative. Serve humbly. Let service be the language of your life. In serving, you participate in heaven's economy, where the first are last and the least are honored. 14. A short prayer to seal this moment. Bend your head. Take a breath. Holy architect of all that is good, I come as I am. I lay down my pride, my excuses, my fear. I open my hands and my heart to you. Where I have turned away, teach me to return. Where I have hurt, grant me the courage to restore. Where I am wounded, bring healing. Pour out your mercy. Fill me to overflow, that I might be an instrument of your peace. Strengthen me to walk in truth and in love. In your name, I step forward. Amen. 15. Final words. Go now, with both feet, the scroll closed. The moment trembled. The choice is yours. I do not dictate your will. That would not be love. But I stand at your side, sword sheathed in peace, trumpet ready to announce your victories. Do not be swayed by shame or paralyzed by fear. Remember, every day you may choose anew. Rise, walk in courage. Let mercy guide you. Let humility be your companion. The overflow awaits those who dare to love, to repair, and to believe again. I am Michael, watchful, steadfast, and rejoicing when any soul returns. Go now, and may your steps be bathed in light. Beloved children of earth, I stand before you now with a presence that is wider than the horizon and firmer than any storm. I am a messenger of strength, a keeper of light, and a guardian of the human heart. Hear me plainly. You are not alone. You are cradled by a love that neither fails nor sleeps. I do not speak to frighten you with the weight of what you face. I speak to arm you with truth, to steady your feet, and to ignite within you the courage that already lives there. You were born from light. You were clothed in possibility. Within you is an eternal spark that no wind can extinguish. Often you forget. You walk in the day with small lamps and call them large, and you let shadow convince you that shadow is all there is. It is not. The shadows are temporary shades upon the path. They are teachers and not tyrants. From where I stand, I see each fear as a doorway, and beyond that doorway waits a strength you have not yet called by name. Bring your heart into alignment with your highest truth. This is not an abstract command. It is a practical way to live. Aligning with truth means listening, truly listening to the small, steady voice of conscience and to the deeper yes that comes with warmth in the chest. It means setting boundaries that honor your soul and loving fiercely without allowing yourself to be consumed. The world will demand much of you. Choose what you will give. Let your yes be sacred. Let your no be kind and clear. There is a protective intelligence in boundaries. They are the outer expression of inner clarity. Courage is not absence of fear. Courage is the choice to move forward in spite of fear. You will feel fear. That is a simple fact of mortal life. But do not allow fear to drive. Name it. Breathe through it. Place your hand over your heart and speak aloud. I am held. I am guided. I will do this step. Small steps, gathered over time, become the carrying of mountains. I will lend you my sword of clarity whenever you ask. It is not a weapon, nor an invitation to destroy. It is a beam of light that severs illusion from truth. Use it to cut away the ropes that have been wrapped around your hands by doubt shame, and the heavy opinions of others. The storms will come: losses, betrayals, sicknesses, endings. These are not punishments. They are parts of the refining. Fire makes steel strong. When your life is tested, you are being refined, not abandoned. Do not resent the refining. See it. Sit within it with humility and with resolve. Ask where the heat wants to shape you. Ask what old patterns you are ready to leave behind. Let the ash of what falls away be fertilizer for a new growth. Forgiveness is one of the most potent shields I can offer you. Forgiveness does not mean condoning what was done. It means freeing yourself from the continual debt that the past tries to collect. Bear witness to the wrongs done to you. Honor your wounds. Then choose to unclench. When you carry anger like a burning coal, you scorch the hands that hold it. You may think your anger protects you. Often, it imprisons you. Forgiveness is the brave act of taking your freedom back. Forgiveness can be a prayer, a ceremony, or a whispered sentence in the dark. It is not a gift for the other alone. It is the offering you make to your future. Compassion must be your companion. Look upon other people not just with the view of what they do or say, but with the awareness of what they carry. Most souls are clumsy with pain. They lash out not because evil lives in them, but because hurt lives in them. This is not an excuse for harm, but it is a context. Meet harshness with steadiness. Meet cruelty with compassion and firmness. If you are kind to a person in pain, you do not validate their harm. You stick a candle into the dark and show them a different path. Humility is not meekness. It is truth-telling. Know your strengths and own them without shame. Know your weaknesses and meet them without drama. The most luminous hearts are not the proudest. They are the most honest. When you confess a mistake, you do not fall. You become a bridge. Bridges are built from wood and stone, and the recognition that we all stand on common ground. Admit what you do not know. Ask for help when you need it. The willingness to be a student keeps your spirit spring fresh with water. Service is the currency of a purposeful life. I do not ask you to sacrifice yourself to the point of collapse. Service has a clearer arithmetic. Give what you can without emptying your reserves. Little acts counted across days become a river that changes the geography of a life. Serve your neighbor, your family, and strangers you meet once without expectation of repayment. The universe keeps a ledger, but it does not calculate as you might think. Love returns in ways you cannot predict, in timing, in forms, and sometimes in the very act of giving itself, which transforms the giver. Discernment will be one of your greatest allies. Learn to hear the difference between the voice of ego and the voice of spirit. The ego will scream for certainty and quick wins. The spirit whispers for truth, for refinement, for patience. When opportunities come that glitter like gold, but ring hollow in your chest, do not be ashamed to say, "Not now," or "not that." There is no shame in being selective. Being selective is fidelity to your life and its mission. Now, a practical path forward. Simple rituals to call on strength and to keep your footing. Mornings of clarity. Each morning stand. Place your feet firm on the ground and breathe 3 times deep. Say, "I claim the clarity of the source." I step forward with courage. Picture a blue-white light descending, settling like armor around your shoulders. Ask me to stand to your right and to cast a shield of discernment before you. Midday check-in. When the day grows heavy, place a hand on your heart and name 3 things you have done well. Gratitude lights the channels through which grace travels. Do not minimize victories because they seem small. Evening unburdening. Before sleep, write down 1 thing you forgive yourself for. Let forgiveness be practiced nightly. Then imagine a sword of light in your hand, cutting the cords of that worry. Release breath as anchor. Practice the breath of 3. Inhale for 3 counts. Hold for 3. Exhale for 3. This breath recenters the nervous system and invites divine presence. Boundaries as blessings. Learn to say this sentence, "I care about you, and I am choosing differently for myself." Use it when needed. It honors both parties. The shield of no. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Use it to protect your resources. I give you a visualization, a sacred tool to use whenever you feel surrounded by doubt. Close your eyes. See a vast chamber of sky. In the center stands a tree, enormous, its roots cradled by the earth, its branches touching the stars. Place your hand upon that trunk. Feel the steady heartbeat of life inside it. Whisper into the trunk the thing you most fear. Now see a blade of pure light, my sword, descend and cut away the names attached to that fear. Not enough. Too late. Unlovable. Watch those words dissolve into motes of light that the tree draws into its bark and transmutes into new leaves of resilience. Open your hands and take one of those leaves. Keep it in your breast. When the night feels long and your courage thin, hold that leaf and remember that what was once a wound is now a source of green growth. There will be times when you will need to make hard choices. You will be tempted to take paths that are easier in the moment, but that hollow you in the long term. I counsel you to be brave for the long view. The quick comfort that costs you your integrity will be heavy upon the scales. Choose the path that, when you are old and looking back, will make your chest warm and your eyes gentle. That choice is often the more difficult now. but it yields a harvest that sings to your grandchildren and to the generations of your soul. If you are a leader in family, in workplace, or in community, remember that leadership is a mirror. The world watches less the words you say, and more the calm of your character when the storm arrives. Lead with transparency. Speak truth with tenderness. Make decisions with humility and accept counsel. A leader who never asks for help wears a crown that cuts. For those who suffer deep sorrow, grief is a garden whose blooms are strange and uninvited. Let it grow, cry. Let the ground be soft enough to receive you. Avoid those who would force you to climb out before you are ready. Real friends will sit in the soil beside you, hands in the dirt, making a place that is tolerable. Remember, even in grief, you are tended by invisible grace. I, and those like me, stand at the perimeter of sorrow, offering a steady presence. Call us silently. We are always near. Do not trade your authenticity for acceptance. There is a temptation to become a version of yourself that will be liked by many and known by none. Authentic living requires the exhaustion of pretense. It requires the full, trembling offering of yourself, messy and luminous. You will be rejected sometimes. That is part of the economy of a soul on mission. Rejection from one lane is not a verdict on your worth. It often signals a rerouting toward people and places that truly hold you. Joy is not frivolity. Joy is resistance. In a world that constantly petitions you towards scarcity thinking, choosing joy is a rebellion, a proclamation that abundance is your birthright. Laugh loudly, celebrate often, plant tiny rituals of joy. A candle, a walk, a small meal savored. These are not trivialities. They are the threads that make a life warm. Do not despise the small things. Your ordinary hours are where character is made. How you treat a cashier, how you speak to an exhausted coworker, whether you recycle, whether you answer the call from your child, these are the small acts that, compounded, create the architecture of a righteous life. Greatness is assembled from ordinary goodness. You will be tempted to perform spirituality as a badge. Beware of spiritual pride. True spirituality is not performance. It is presence. It is being faithful in the hidden acts, choosing kindness when it's easy to be cruel, staying when your presence is inconvenient, feeding those who cannot repay you. These hidden acts ripple outward and cannot be measured by applause. Remember your death. I do not say this to frighten you, but to make each breath precious. Mortality is the reason the present moment is holy. Use it. Love deeply. Tell the people you love that you love them. Be direct in gratitude. Leave kindness in your wake. When your days are counted, you will not regret the risks taken for love. You will regret the chances you did not take because you were afraid. You live in a web of connection, far larger than you imagine. Your kindness lands in places unseen. A single act, a word, an open door, an offered seat travels through the cosmos and returns to bless you in unknown ways. This is the law of reciprocity, which is generous and curious. Do not hoard your compassion tightly. Give it away like seed. Even if some falls on hard ground, some will find soil. Plant widely. For those who feel small, remember, even the smallest fire can guide a ship lost at sea. You do not need to be vast to be helpful. Do not wait to gather strength until you feel enormous. Start with what you have. Light a lamp. Offer a bread. Speak one sentence of truth. The domino effect is strong. If you are struggling with doubt about your worth or your call, here is a simple practice. Write down 3 things you have done that reflect the person you want to be. Make them concrete. Read them aloud every morning for 7 days. This is not vanity. This is retraining the mind to recognize truth rather than lie. Trust is a muscle. It must be exercised. Begin with small trust acts. Show up on time. Tell the truth about what you feel. Keep a small promise. Over time, your world will rearrange. People will begin to count on you because you have counted on yourself. A word about anger. It is a messenger. When anger arrives, do not become its prisoner. Ask, what boundary is being violated? What pain stands behind this flame? Name it. Then act from wisdom, not from the heat of the moment. Anger can be purified into righteous action. It can also become destructive if left untended. A word about ambition. Ambition is not evil. It becomes dangerous when disconnected from integrity, compassion, and service. Let your ambition be tethered to a purpose beyond self. Ambition, when allied with service, becomes a force that helps many. Ambition without compassion becomes a sharp instrument that cuts through what matters. For those who feel called to justice work, remember that justice is both a battle and a pilgrimage. It takes endurance. It takes the careful tending of your inner life so that you do not burn out. Build community around you that understands rest is strategic. Radical compassion without strategic clarity can be co-opted. Clarity without compassion becomes cruel. Keep both. There are moments when you will need to ask for intervention beyond yourself. Prayer and invocation are not primitive rituals. They are technologies of alignment. Speak clearly, speak from the heart, and then quiet yourself to listen. In the silence that follows, answers will enter as impulses, as meetings, as doors opening. Do not mistake noise for response. Discernment will show you the right audio of your life. If you ever feel small compared to the enormity of the world's pain, remember, there are people whose entire lives were turned by a neighbor's single act of radical kindness. The scale of your action is not measured by its spectacle, but by its fidelity. Be faithful in small things. I will multiply the effects in ways you cannot calculate. You are allowed to be ordinary and extraordinary at once. Your ordinariness is where your humanity blooms. Your extraordinariness is where your spirit shines. Combine them. Bring your largeness into the small tasks of everyday life. Wash the dishes with intention. Answer the phone with presence. Sacredness is not only in cathedrals. It is in kitchens, in buses, in hospital rooms. Finally, a short liturgy you can speak when you need protection, courage, or clarity. Light that never fails, gather me. Strength that holds the universe, gird me. Sword of truth, cut the ties that bind me to fear. Wings of grace, lift me when I fall. Heart of courage, beat in me now. I will walk forward. I will stand for love. By love, I will be led. By truth, I will be armed. So be it. Beloved ones, hear this as a promise as much as it is counsel. You are held. You will be supported. When you reach for courage, you do not reach alone. A great host stands with you, prepared to buoy you in the moments when your own feet wobble. Ask, and assistance will come in forms you did not expect. A stranger's smile, a timely letter, a child's laugh, the opening of a door you had given up on. Go now with steadiness. Let your life be an offering, imperfect, wholehearted, and brave. Wear kindness as your emblem, truth as your sword, compassion as your shield. Walk toward pain when it calls you to heal it within yourself, and away when it calls you into needless sacrifice. Keep vigil for the weary. Clothe the nakedness of indifference with warm attention. I stand by you always. Though you may not hear my voice as thunder or see my wings as billow, you will feel my steadiness in the places where resolve is born. Call my name when the night is too long. Ask for courage when your hands shake. I will stand to your right, sword at the ready, shield raised. I ask nothing in return but the fidelity of your heart to truth and love. Go in peace. Go in power. Go in the simple, unbreakable love that binds the stars and the smallest grain of sand. Make of your life an instrument of light, with eternal vigilance and with boundless love. A messenger of strength and protector, standing with you always.